Well, and I think that leads to another great question here, Fordie, that I'll direct to you, which we get a lot. With all the wet conditions at Liberty National, the Northern Trust, or Case Valley at the BMW, do many tour players look to increase carry distance with lower spin balls? I think another way of putting it is, are golfers ever choosing on tour a golf ball based on the conditions? We get the question about the Open Championship a lot, where it's very windy. Would players gravitate towards lower spin balls? How do you handle that question?
Yeah, and I would say that the vast majority of tour players don't change their golf ball based on the conditions. They learn what their ball does in all the different conditions, and then they know. I'm of the opinion that I think that they should at least understand and thoroughly vet a couple options, because there could be times when a little different performance in wet conditions, may benefit them. Probably the biggest time when the conditions change and players, we have, more than a couple players change is at elevation. There's a couple of events where when they go up in elevation and that ball gets pushed down and flies lower, we'll have a lot of guys move to a higher flying golf ball to kind of compensate for what happens at elevation. So that's probably the biggest condition where players will change. And even that might only be, 5 to 8 players, that event. It's not like there's, a massive amount of guys doing it. But there will be on occasion. And I think back to a David Toms years ago who really would pick his golf ball. He understood what both V and X did, the differences for and which worked better in different conditions, and he was not afraid to change based on those conditions. But kind of almost surprisingly, more often than not, guys just don't change. They know what their ball does in all the conditions, and they've figured it out.